Hello, and welcome to Laser Brains. How can I help you today? Alright, well, let me just ask you a few basic questions so we can kind of hone in on what type of saber would be perfect for you. First, is this a personal purchase, or are you purchasing this as a gift for someone? Okay. And do you have any color preference? No? Okay. Would you prefer a standard blade, or are you interested in seeing some of the other blades, like the double-bladed lightsabers? Any blade? Okay. And is this going to be a personal lightsaber that you're actually going to use for battles and such things, or is it just more of a collector's item? Just for your collection? Okay, in that case, we do have a small selection of Sith lightsabers. We don't recommend Sith lightsabers if you're using them as your actual personal battle saber, just because there is a little bit of dark energy within them and you don't want it to be influencing you. However, if you're just a collector and you're just looking for something to basically hang on your wall, some of the Sith sabers are very impressive in their construction, and they're just really nice to add to your collection if you're just using them as display pieces. Would you be interested in seeing any of those? You would? Okay. Then I have a few lightsaber suggestions here, so I'll just run into the back room and pull those up, and then you can go through them and see which one appeals to you. Okay. So the first one we have is a fairly traditional single-bladed lightsaber. It features a blue blade, and there's a lot of silver on this lightsaber, a little bit of black around the handle. It has some very nice grips. Also has a ring so that you can hang it on your belt. Of course, you said you're just using it for a collection, but you could also use it to hang it on your wall. It has indicator lights on it. A few of them are broken because this was a used lightsaber, but most of the indicator lights still work, and of course the blade itself still works. And then of course the actual crystal generator of the lightsaber is still in very good condition. Is this something that you're interested in? No? Okay. Next we have, this one's a little bit thinner in the handle grip, makes it very easy to grip if you have smaller hands. And this one is also a blue-bladed lightsaber. And this one has fairly standard grips all the way around. Again, being smaller, it's easier to hold on to. And it's got non-slip gripping up at the top here as well. Your crystal is inside, and the charge goes all the way up the end. You can see at the end there where the light beam comes out. It's a very nice lightsaber to add to anyone's collection. That one in the maybe pile? Okay. So next we have, this is a double-bladed Sith lightsaber. So this is one of the red-bladed lightsabers. Let me see here, how do you turn this on? There we go. So it's a double-bladed red Sith lightsaber. Again, this is one that you're only going to want to use as part of a collection to hang on your wall, because there's of course dark energy in it, and you don't want that influencing you at all. You want to stay on the light side of the Force. One of the unique things about a double-bladed lightsaber is that if you accidentally break it in half or it gets chopped in half during a battle, you can still use each side of the lightsaber on its own, because there are multiple crystals in this. So if it were to say get chopped in half and you lost one half, you'd still have a fully functioning lightsaber. And the blade on this one as well is just a simple straight blade. Nothing fancy, but again, always kind of a fun one to have in a collection is a Sith lightsaber. That one's a maybe as well. Okay. The next one we have is another Sith lightsaber. This one's very unusual because it features the curved hilt. You don't see a lot of these. It's slightly more difficult to fight with because of the curved hilt. It does keep it from slipping out of your hand forward, but it's still difficult to hold on to, so that's probably why you don't see as many of these. It does lend itself Very impressively in design though, the curved hilt. And then of course you have your saber guard at the end. Now this one is of course a red blade because it's a Sith lightsaber. Also a single blade, just your standard single blade lightsaber. But again, this one would be a very good one to put in anyone's collection. Are you interested in this? No? Okay. Moving on. Another Sith lightsaber. This one is very similar to the first one I showed you, except for the fact that that was not a Sith lightsaber. The ring on this one is slightly different position. This one's at the top, so that you would hang it like this as opposed to like this, the way the first one was. And this one is, of course, Sith, so it's a red blade, just your standard straight red-bladed lightsaber. Do you have any interest in this one? No? Okay. Moving on. Come to the large double-bladed lightsaber. These were very commonly used by the guards at the Jedi Temple. So this is a yellow-bladed lightsaber. This one was a used lightsaber, so unfortunately the blades no longer work. The light in the crystals has gone out. But it is, if you're just collecting, it's a great one to add to your collection. Normally it would have a blade coming out either side, of course, but the inner workings of this lightsaber, because it's used, were severely damaged, so it no longer works. But again, it's a lovely piece to hang on your wall. It features the gold ends and then the silver and bronze interior. There's a lot of room, with the pike lightsabers, you can really wrap both hands around them, so that was a very desirable feature. Do you have any interest in this? In the maybe pile? Okay. And then we have yet another Sith lightsaber. This one has a very interesting feature. On the front of it here, it was not originally a Sith lightsaber, and its owner decided to turn it into a Sith lightsaber because this one is also used. And so in order to access the inner core, the owner was forced to make a cut here. So this is one of the rare lightsabers where you get to actually see the inner workings of the lightsaber itself. So again, that's always a fun thing to put in your collection. This one features a red blade, and the nice thing about this is it is the double blade cross blade. So you got the two little blades out the side here. You just, of course, want to be careful not to cut your own wrists off with it. But again, always a fun one to add to your collection. Do you have any interest in this? In the maybe pile? Okay. And then another Sith blade that we have is this one, featuring just a single blade, single red blade. Nothing fancy here, but the lightsaber hilt itself is one of the most finely crafted lightsabers we have. It's based on one that was commissioned by someone who was fairly wealthy, so that's why there's a lot of gold on this lightsaber, because you have the silver base and then the pure gold at the end. And it's one of my favorite lightsabers because it's so simplistic in its design. There's not a lot of fancy bells and whistles. There's just what you need, and then you have the lightsaber itself. So it's really a marvelous design of this lightsaber. You think that's the one you'd like to buy? Okay, I think you've made an excellent choice. Why don't I meet you back at the front desk and we'll check you out. Okay. How will you be paying for your lightsaber? Okay, and what is your federal credit number? Okay. Now, we do offer, on all new lightsaber purchases, we do offer a 2-year maintenance agreement. That means if your lightsaber is damaged in any way during the first 2 years that you own it, we will fix it totally free of charge. There is an initial $25 charge for the purchase of the maintenance agreement, but once you have it, doesn't matter how expensive the repair is, we will fix it completely free of charge for 2 years. Do you think you'd be interested in getting that on your lightsaber? Okay. In that case, I will need your full name. And how do you spell the last name? Okay. What is your current planet of residence? Okay. Well, that's a beautiful spot. My aunt used to live on that planet. Yeah, the far side with the ocean. Where do you live? Oh, that's nice too. Yep. Used to spend the off season there. What is your hailing frequency? Okay. How many years have you been collecting lightsabers? Okay. I'm not sure why they asked that question. It's just one that they always ask, so I always punch it in. And what is your preferred method of contact? Okay. And can you spell it for me? Okay. Now let's just get this processing. Okay, looks like your federal credit payment has been taken, so yes, all processed. So you are now the proud owner of a brand new Sith lightsaber. So I hope you enjoy hanging this on your wall, and may the Force be with you.